សម្ដេចនាំលោកជំទាវយើងបានសម្រេចចិត្តថានឹងចាក់វ៉ាក់សាំងឲ្យក្មេងអាយុពី6ឆ្នាំទៅ12ឆ្នាំប្រសិនបើយើងមិនចាក់ជូនកុមារពីអាយុ6ឆ្នាំទៅ12ឆ្នាំទេយើងមិនអាចឈានទៅបើកសាលាបឋមសិក្សាបានទេព្រោះអាយុនេះគឺអាយុនៅក្នុងក្របខ័ណ្ឌបឋមសិក្សាហើយយើងបែរជាបើកតែអនុវិទ្យាល័យដូច្នេះធ្វើឲ្យមានបញ្ហាលំបាកម្យ៉ាងទៀតវ៉ាក់សាំងក៏បានសិក្សានៅតាមប្រទេសនានាហើយគេក៏បានចាក់ប្រើប្រាស់សម្រាប់ក្មេងដែលមានអាយុក្រោម12ឆ្នាំរួចមកហើយដែរដូច្នេះបញ្ហាវ៉ាក់សាំងមិនមែនជាបញ្ហាលំបាកទេម្ខាងគឺវ៉ាក់សាំងអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យចាក់ហើយម្ខាងទៀតយើងមានវ៉ាក់សាំងក្នុងដៃរួចជាស្រេចហើយចំនួនកុមារតាមស្ថិតិជាបឋមដែលអាដាមអូនប៉ុននៃរដ្ឋបានផ្ដល់ឲ្យអំពីស្ថិតិនោះគឺត្រឹមតែ1,800,000 នាក់ជាងតែប៉ុណ្ណោះដូច្នេះខ្ញុំសម្រេចថានឹងបើកយុទ្ធនាការថ្មីមួយទៀតនៅថ្ងៃសុក្រដើម្បីចាក់វ៉ាក់សាំងជូនកុមារអាយុ6ឆ្នាំទៅ12ឆ្នាំបន្ទាប់ពីយើងចាក់ចិត្តរួចរាល់សម្រាប់កុមារដែលមានអាយុកុមារនិងយុវវ័យដែលមានអាយុពី12ទៅ17ឆ្នាំ18ឆ្នាំឥឡូវយើងបើកយុទ្ធនាការបន្តដោយចាប់ផ្ដើមពីអាយុ6ឆ្នាំទៅ12ឆ្នាំហើយការបើកយុទ្ធនាការនេះទៀតសោតយើងត្រូវធ្វើនៅក្របខ័ណ្ឌទូទាំងប្រទេសហើយថ្នាក់ជាតិយើងបើកនៅក្នុងនៅវិមានសន្តិភាពដោយពេលដែលយើងចាក់ឲ្យកុមារនិងយុវវ័យកាលពីពេលមុនដែរហើយបន្ទាប់ពីនោះខ្ញុំនឹងមានសម្ដេចឯកឧត្តមលោកជំទាវជាពិសេសគឺក៏ដូចជាអនុគណៈកម្មការចាក់វ៉ាក់សាំងនៅតាមខេត្តរាជធានីខេត្តធ្វើការប្រុងប្រៀបដើម្បីនឹងរៀបចំការបែងចែកវ៉ាក់សាំងសម្រាប់កុមារអាយុពី6ឆ្នាំទៅ12ឆ្នាំដែលមាន1,800,000 នាក់ជាងឬថាជិត1,900,000 នាក់ដែលយើងត្រូវចាក់ជូនហើយទៅចាប់ផ្ដើមពេលវេលាវាយើងមិនមានជាបញ្ហាធំធេងទេដោយសារយើងមានក្រុមគ្រូពេទ្យយើងមានវ៉ាក់សាំងនៅតាមមូលដ្ឋានរួចស្រេចទៅហើយតែប្រើប្រាស់កាលមុននេះមាតាបិតាអាណាព្យាបាលបាននាំកុមារនិងយុវវ័យអាយុពី12ឆ្នាំទៅ17ឆ្នាំទៅ18ឆ្នាំតែមាតាបិតានិងអាណាព្យាបាលនាំកុមារអាយុពី6ឆ្នាំទៅ12ឆ្នាំដើម្បីទៅចាក់បន្ថែមតែប៉ុណ្ណោះហើយទីតាំងចាក់និងកន្លែងចាក់វ៉ាក់សាំងគឺយើងមានរួចរាល់ហើយដែលសុំហើយកន្លែងដែលបានបិទក៏ត្រូវទៅបើកឡើងវិញសម្រាប់ការចាក់វ៉ាក់សាំងហើយកុមាររបស់យើងដែលកុមាររបស់យើងគឺមកដល់ពេលនេះគឺចាក់បាន1,700,000 នាក់ជាងរួចស្រេចទៅហើយយើងធ្វើយ៉ាងដូច្នេះគឺសម្ដៅដើម្បីឲ្យកុមារដែលត្រូវចូលរៀនបឋមសិក្សាអាចនឹងចូលរៀនបឋមសិក្សាបានដោយគ្មានការភ័យខ្លាចពួកគេបានទទួលវ៉ាក់សាំងបើមិនដូច្នោះទេយើងនៅចន្លោះក្នុងរង្វង់ពី6ទៅ7ឆ្នាំពី12ឆ្នាំដែលប៉ុននេះយើងតម្រូវសម្រាប់តែអនុវិទ្យាល័យតែយើងធ្វើតាមជំហានហើយជំហានបន្តទៀតយើងក៏កំពុងគិតសម្រាប់ក្មេងដែលចាត់ទុកថាជាជំហានបន្តមួយទៀតសាំងសម្រាប់កុមារអាយុ ពី6ទៅ12ឆ្នាំដែលវាអាចផ្ដល់ឱកាសឲ្យកុមាររបស់យើងអាចចូលបានសិក្សាសម្រាប់សាលាបឋមសិក្សាដែលនឹងត្រូវបើកជាបន្តទៀតបន្ទាប់ពីការបើកអនុវិទ្យាល័យវិទ្យាល័យនិងមហាវិទ្យាល័យបាននឹងកំពុងធ្វើចាប់ពីថ្ងៃនេះអញ្ចឹងសូមត្រៀមរៀបចំសម្រាប់ថ្ងៃសុក្រនេះតែម្ដងហើយការបើកនៅថ្នាក់ជាតិគឺបើកដោយខ្ញុំនៅពីមានសន្តិភាពតែសូមឲ្យអាយដាមលោកជំទាវនាំកូននាំចៅសម្រាប់ការទៅចាក់នៅវិមានសន្តិភាពតាមការចាត់ចែងរបស់ក្រសួងសូមអរគុណ
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Hun Sen, together with his people, he says the royal government has decided to administer booster shots 4 to 6 months after initial vaccination. The Prime Minister shows of the third doses being administered by doctors at his home in Kandal, which vaccine was given to the Prime Minister and his wife, but they were originally vaccinated with AstraZeneca, suggesting they may have received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine as a booster shot, years old and outside the recommended age range for Sinovac or Sinopharm. The Prime Minister did announce on Sunday, though, that the 3 million additional doses of vaccines to be donated by China will be allotted for booster shots as the country works towards fully vaccinating 12 million citizens over the age of 12, with boosters to have enough shots to meet that target. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Phnom Penh secondary schools reopen on Wednesday after a 7-month-long hiatus caused by the 20...
saying that for children in that age group who have not been vaccinated, there'll be no going back to class, at least for now. The same goes for unvaccinated teachers who will need to continue teaching online. Other guidelines include classroom attendance capped at no more than 15, a stock of rapid test kits to be available at all times in the event of a suspected COVID-19 case, and parents being urged to provide their children with a packed lunch instead of allowing them to buy food outside school premises. The Ministry of Education has also emphasized mental health by making sure students get enough rest, regular exercise, and a proper diet. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The United States Embassy in Cambodia has pledged to continue supporting the kingdom's fight against COVID-19. This was announced during Tuesday's virtual media briefing, joined by the World Health Organization, UNICEF, as well as the Ministry of Health. US Ambassador W. Patrick Murphy has also announced that they will be providing 100,000 sets of PPE to Cambodia's HIV healthcare facilities over the next week. Ministry of Health spokesperson Dr. Or Van Dien says the US Embassy's contribution is a huge help. EAC News reporter Rhea Soko attended that briefing.
The Health Ministry's Dr. Or Van Dien has expressed gratitude to the US Embassy for its essential partnership with Cambodia since 1992. US Ambassador W. Patrick Murphy stressed that they will continue to provide help. Since the outbreak, the U.S. has already provided supplemental funding of over $15 million in direct support to Cambodia's fight against COVID-19. In July, over 1 million doses of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine were provided by the U.S. through the COVAX initiative. When asked if the U.S. will provide more vaccines to Cambodia, Ambassador Murphy says that it will be up to COVAX, which they are working very closely.
The United States is working very closely through the COVAX mechanism, which is a global mechanism partnering with countries to identify where the needs are for vaccines. So that will be a conversation between Cambodia and the COVAX facility. The United States is a huge donor to COVAX with cash, $4 billion, and a continual supply of vaccinations. But it's that mechanism that identifies where the needs are most pressing and most urgent. So that really is between Cambodia and COVAX.
UNICEF Representative Foro Fuyusat has confirmed that more vaccines are coming to Cambodia through COVAX.
Is going to receive more vaccines through COVAX. And as Mr. Ambassador mentioned, the US government is the largest donor there. Both in quarter 3 And also already for Q4, there has been communication to Ministry of Health, and it's currently for the ministry's decision how to avail of the Q4 share through COVAX. Over.
As of Monday, Cambodia has already vaccinated 97.58% of the targeted 10 million population, while 71.79% of its total 16 million population, including children aged 12 to 17, have been fully vaccinated. The kingdom is using Sinovac, Sinopharm, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines for inoculation. In July, the Ministry of Health announced that private companies may now import and distribute COVID-19 vaccines for use by private healthcare facilities, provided those vaccines are WHO approved. EAC News asked the Health Ministry on the progress of allowing private companies to import vaccines which are not available in Cambodia. Dr. Van Dien has answered that the private companies and hospitals who have shown an interest are in the procurement process. She says the government is now aiming for a new normal and already well prepared to open up some sectors, including tourism. But the reopening of tourism will depend on people's cooperation. WHO representative in Cambodia, Dr. Lee Ailan, also says that right now, the priority in Cambodia is to respond to the Delta variant.
We had the good news that our transmission not very high level, not very high, but it's too early to conclude. So the top priority that WHO advised and is supporting to the government, in particular Ministry of Health, is really to have effective implementation of a combination of three things. First, effective non-pharmaceutical intervention. Second, speed up the vaccination program to reach all the vulnerable population, protect all the vulnerable. Thirdly, is the healthcare capacity strengthening, including ICU capacity. I think this is a top priority. However, it's the best opportunity to plan for the reopening, including the opening border for the tourism.
Ailan has emphasized the WHO, Ministry of Health, and other sectors are currently discussing the option of living with the virus in a new normal. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. What looks like a vehicle from the Jetsons cartoon is now a Khmer reality. A passenger-carrying drone has been built by students from the National Polytechnic Institute of Cambodia, and it's been getting a lot of attention both on and off campus. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko went along to have a look for himself.
The future has come to Cambodia, and it comes from Cambodia. This 2.5-meter drone can fit one person and can fly for 10 minutes. It's a result of teamwork from both mechanical and electronic students, with 2 permanent students and 4 assistants helping with the welding and wiring. They say the drone took 1 year to build.